Mixtapes and DVDs is my era.
Facts.
We did it better.
Yep.
Pelly leathers,
Facts.
ACG boots. We 80s babies and early 90s when it got grimy. I was out of this world, you could not find me unless you check the lobby. Hustling was my hobby. We was lobby boys before Jim Jones. You could catch me at Harlem eating Jimbos.
Now, Rod Diggs and Uncle Murda always seem to have a close relationship. These two worked on a lot of music together and put out songs like Shooter Music, We All Effed Up, By the Gun, Shots Pawn Them, and the Slow Down Freestyle, which Rod Diggs' lyrics will be used against him as evidence in his trial. Uncle Murda, along with Rod Diggs and Waka Flocka, formed a super group called the Murda Team and dropped numerous videos on YouTube and hip-hop music websites, which quickly created a big buzz for them in the music industry. Rod Diggs seemed to be creating a big buzz and a lot of momentum behind him and his music career. But shortly after his short-lived fame, Rod Diggs was arrested in Manhattan by federal officers October 2010 and charged with drug distribution and was being investigated for several open murder cases, which federal officers been investigating since 2008. Now in 2014, Rod Diggs would eventually go to trial to fight his cases, and one of his friends who would take the stand in his behalf would be Uncle Murda. Now, of course, Rod Diggs had Uncle Murda testify on his behalf because it looked good. You get what I'm saying? Uncle Murda had been a professional rapper for years at this time, and he had a few record deals with Rough Riders, Rockefeller, and it just looked good to have somebody of the industry and entertainment world to co-sign you. Now, when they began to question Uncle Murda, they asked for him to name some of the most famous people he got to work with, and he replied 50 Cent, Mariah Carey, and Jay-Z, just to name a few. They also asked him how much he paid for studio time an hour. They also asked about the bottles and stuff he have at the club when he goes and how much that cost him. Now, their reason for asking him that is because they probably had pictures of Rod Diggs, you know, with bottles in the club. And if he's doing studio time and stuff, they want to know, being that he's not working, making money on the books, how's he funding these things? So Uncle Murda went on to say like he will help Rod Diggs fund these things. And he also know that Rod Diggs get help from his girlfriend to fund these things. Now, if Uncle Murda didn't say that, they could have easily used in their defense like, all right, he's going to the studio paying $50, $75 an hour. He's paying $100, $200, $300 for bottles. How he's funding these things if he's not working? They're to try to say that he's using drug money to help fund his music career. So basically, Uncle Murda was letting them know if you wanted to be a successful rapper, you was going to have to pay for videos, promotion, studio time, and if you was going to the clubs, you was going to have to buy a few bottles to make yourself look good. That way you can sell your product to your audience and fans. Now, in Rod Diggs' case, Uncle Murda was trying to paint the narrative that Rod Diggs himself really wasn't coming out of his pocket and paying for things. Uncle Murda wanted to make it clear that he was helping Rod Diggs fund his music career along with Rod Diggs' girlfriend at the time. Now, what this does, it helps Rod Diggs because in his defense is like, I'm not this big drug kingpin and I'm not getting all this money you say I'm getting because I'm being helped by Uncle Murda and my girlfriend to fund my music career. So all this money you saying I'm getting isn't true because I'm struggling investing in my career. So where's all this money you say I'm getting is going if that's the case? So it's basically to sway the jury to believe that Rod Diggs isn't this big drug kingpin that y'all saying he is. Now, Uncle Murda was asked a few more questions, and it kind of took a little turn for the worse. Now, one of the questions they asked Uncle Murda was about a prior case that he caught in 2006 for selling crack to an undercover officer. Uncle Murda admitted that he caught that case and he got 5 years probation for that charge. Now, being that he was convicted of selling drugs, they asked him how long he was selling drugs, and he said that he basically started around the time he got caught. But being that he got caught, he found out that wasn't the right lifestyle for him, and he continued to go on with his music career. Now, when they continued to cross-examine him, they even asked about him being shot in his head, and he replied that it was true. Now, they asked him, did he tell the police when he was investigated about the shooting that he felt the police was the ones who did it to him? And he said, yeah. Now, this is where it kind of hurted him to testify in Rod Diggs' defense to me, because it's like, you're no longer a credible witness. You're a criminal now, they feel like. And you were shot in the head and you lied about it. So we can't even trust your word in this case. So to me personally, in my opinion, I felt like Uncle Murda's testimony kind of hurt Rod Diggs more than it helped him, because you got to think who's on the jury. You get what I'm saying? And his testimony is not going to sway them to believe that Rod Diggs is some good guy rapper. You get what I'm saying? But I do want to commend Uncle Murda for taking a stand and testifying in behalf of Rod Diggs. It take a lot of heart to do that. A lot of people would see their homeboy with a federal case and they wouldn't want no parts of it. They wouldn't want to connect their name to that because they feel like maybe the feds will start watching them after. And Uncle Murda did some stand-up. You get what I'm saying? And I commend him for that. And, you know, a lot of rappers don't do stuff like that. They would have separate themselves from the whole situation, stop picking up Rod Diggs' calls. And, you know, Uncle Murda tried his best to help what he can help with. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this video. I just wanted to touch up on a situation I felt was, you know, a real situation on Uncle Murda's behalf, because I feel us as bloggers and content creators, we like to touch on a lot of negative things and don't shine light on when somebody do some good, solid stuff. You get what I'm saying? So that was my reason for making this video. If y'all want to hear the whole case of everything Rod Diggs was facing and going through around this time, you could go to Crown TV and listen to that whole case, all the paperwork. They going, you know, break everything down. But anyway, if you're a fan of these old hip-hop stories, tell a friend and tell a friend about my page. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. More content coming, and I'm out.